Welcome to this Pre 50 class on biology. On today's topic we have excretion. Sections in this topic. Section 1, excretion in animals. Section 2, excretion in plants. At the end of this lecture, candidates should be able to define the meaning and state the significance of excretion, relate the characteristics of each structure with functions, and also relate the structure of the kidneys to the excretory and the osmoregulatory functions of the kidney. They should be able to deduce the economic importance of the excretory products of plants, which includes oxygen, tannins, resins, gums, mucilage, alkaloids, and carbon dioxide. Introduction. Excretion is the process by which waste products of metabolism are removed from the body of a living organism. The process by which waste products of metabolism are removed from the body of a living organism. The table below shows the excretory structure or organs and the living things they are found in. Excretory structure or organ, living organism in which it is found in. Kidneys, found in mammals. Skin, an excretory organ in mammals, example man. Lungs, mammals. Liver, mammals. Gills, fish, example is tilapia. Nephrida, found in earthworm. Malpighian tubules, found in insects, example is cockroach. Flame cells, excretory organ in flatworms, example is planarian. Logbook is used by spiders. Greenland is found in crustaceans, example is shrimp. Contractile vacuole is found in protozoa, example is amoeba. Lenticels found in woody plants, example is orange tree. Stomata is an excretory organ in vascular plants such as hibiscus. Leaves is used by green plants as an excretory organ. Excretion in mammals. Kidneys are organs for the excretion of all nitrogenous waste from the body and also responsible for the osmoregulation of the blood and the body fluid. So basically, the kidney has two functions, excretion and osmoregulation. The functional unit of kidney is the urinary tubule or the nephron. The nephron is the functional unit of the kidney. The kidney lies on top of the adrenal gland. When a kidney is cut vertically, it consists of three portions: the cortex, the medulla, and the pelvis. This is the structure of a kidney. And this is the renal cortex. This is the renal medulla. And then you have the renal pelvis. Let's now discuss the various structures of the nephron. Nephron begins in the cortex as a thin-walled, cup-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. The capsule opens into a short coiled tube. The proximal convoluted tubule straightens out as it enters the medulla, where it makes a U-shaped loop known as the Helms loop or the loop of Helms before re-entering the cortex. Branches of renal artery in the kidney form a knot of capillaries called glomerulus found in the Bowman's capsule. The capsule and the glomerulus forms the Malpighian capsules. The Malpighian capsule, this is capsule, not capsule, is located in the cortex. The vessel branches into capillary network around the urinary tubule before forming the renal vein. The structure responsible for the formation of urine is the nephron, and the nephron is in the kidney, and it is the unit of the kidney. The nephron is the structure of the kidney responsible for the formation of urine. The urinary tubule of the kidney functions through active transport and osmosis. Two mechanisms or two processes by which it functions: active transport and osmosis. This is the structure of the nephron. So this is the glomerulus, this is the tubule, the proximal tubule, and then this is the loop of Helms, and then you also get the distal tubules. Sorry, this is the distal tubules, and then the urine flows down the collecting duct to the renal pelvis, from where it is excreted from the body. Mechanism of urine formation in a nephron. Urine formation involves the following processes: 1. Ultrafiltration, selective reabsorption, and tubular secretion. We start with ultrafiltration. All nitrogenous waste is changed into urea by the cells of the liver. As blood circulates through the glomerulus, molecules such as water, urea, mineral salts, sugar, and plasma solutes are filtered into the Bowman's capsule by the fluid known as the glomerular filtrate. Note: the insoluble blood cells and plasma proteins such as prothrombin and fibrinogen cannot pass through the glomerulus, therefore they remain in the blood. So that is why you don't find these cells in the glomerular filtrate unless there is something wrong with the glomerulus. Blood under high pressure flows into the Bowman's capsule through different arterioles. A branch of the renal artery, that's the arteriole, is a branch of the renal artery. The blood entering the kidney is at a high pressure because the renal artery branches off from the dorsal aorta at only a short distance from the heart and blood vessels. So because the renal artery branches off from the dorsal aorta, which is a short distance from the heart and the blood vessel, the blood reaching the kidney is at high pressure, and this enables filtration, this ultrafiltration that occurs in the glomerulus. So the high pressure of the blood enables for better filtration of substances getting to the to the kidney through the blood. Selective reabsorption. This occurs in the proximal convoluted tubule present in the cortex and the loops of Helms in the medulla. Note that the loop of Helms is the seat of final water reabsorption to the body, hence the osmotic regulation of the body fluid. It is in this loop of Helms that water reabsorption takes place, and this reabsorption of water can be used to regulate the osmotic pressure of the blood. All the amino acid, glucose, water, large quantities of hormones and mineral salts are reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule. After this, the loop of Helms concentrates sodium chloride in the medulla of the kidney. The longer the loop of Helms, the more efficient the absorption of water. Desert animals that have no access to water have long loop of Helms in their nephron, and this helps to reabsorb a lot of water from the urine. Therefore, they secrete scanty concentrated urine. The loop of Helms also helps in the exchange of ions. So this is a mechanism of survival of desert animals which are found in the desert. They have long loop of helms, and this loop, they said, the longer the loop, the more the reabsorption. And so because these animals don't get enough water, they tend to have a long loop so that there will be more reabsorption of water. And that is why they secrete scanty urine but are concentrated, because water has been absorbed. So what you have will now be a concentrated little urine with high concentration of the solids, which can be urea or other stuffs. So but the amount of water in their urine is low because of the greater reabsorption of water taking place as a result of their long loop of helms. Let's now look at tubular secretion. From the collecting ducts, the urine moves into the pelvis, from where it continues down the ureter to the urinary bladder. The contraction of the urinary bladder, when full, causes the urine to be discharged to the exterior through the ureter. So the contraction of the urinary bladder will cause the urine to be discharged through the urethra to the exterior, that's outside the body. Urethra also helps for discharge of sperm in males, but in females it is solely for urine excretion or removal. Note, the descending part of the loop of helms is more permeable than the ascending part. The descending part of the loop, that's the lower part, is more permeable to water than the ascending part. And the process is controlled by a hormone known as ADH, antidiuretic hormone. This hormone helps to increase the permeability of the distal convoluted tubule and the collecting duct to water to produce concentrated urine. This usually occurs when blood volume or the blood pressure is low, and to increase this blood pressure, water needs to be added to blood. And this water is only gotten by the reabsorption of water from the tubules. In this case, when ADH is released, this hormone causes the distal convoluted tubule to be permeable to water. So there will be reabsorption of water from the convoluted tubule, the distal convoluted tubule. This reabsorbed water gets into the blood, increases the blood volume, and normalizes the blood pressure. But if blood pressure is high, ADH will not be released, and so water will be excreted, giving you a dilute urine. Urine is composed of water, urea, and traces of uric acid, and also ions of sulfate, phosphate, sodium, calcium, potassium, and chloride ions. Also, the metabolic production of urea is carried out in the kidney and the Malpighian tubule. The liver is another excretory organ in man. Organic toxins produced by bacteria in the large intestine are absorbed into the portal blood. The liver prevents these compounds from reaching the toxic level in the body. That's the compounds produced by bacteria in the large intestine. Some enzymes present in the liver convert toxic products into non-toxic compounds, for which are later excreted by the kidney. And this process of converting toxic products to non-toxic compounds is known as detoxification. Also, surplus amino acid, those not needed for growth, are deaminated in the liver. The nitrogenous waste from the breakdown of protoplasm is formed into urea, which passes into the bloodstream for transport to the kidney for excretion. The liver also excretes bile or bile salts or bilirubin. Bilirubin is a substance gotten from the breakdown of hemoglobin. So the liver secretes bile, through which it excretes bile salts and bilirubin. The liver excretes this substance through the bile. Note: feces is not an excretory product. It is the undigested part of food taken by an organism, and it is expelled from the alimentary canal through the anus. So feces is not a waste product of metabolism. It is just an undigested part of the food taken by an organism. So this is the liver, and it is the largest gland in the human body. The skin, another excretory organ in man. The skin excretes excess heat and sweat. The sweat contains water, salt, and uric acid. This excretion is made possible by the sweat gland. The melanin pigment present in the mouthfean layer also helps to prevent the ultraviolet rays from damaging the underlying tissues. The sebaceous gland in the skin also helps by secreting oily substance called sebum, which lubricates the hair and keeps it flexible. Sebum contains lysozyme, which kills bacteria and viruses. This is the structure of the skin. You have the hair, the pores, the epidermis, the dermis, the sweat gland, blood vessels supplying the skin, the oil gland which produces sebum, the fat layer, and the lymph vessels. They also have sensory nerve receptors. The lungs. The lung excretes carbon dioxide, excess heat, and excess water in the form of water vapor through excretory products. These excretory products, that's carbon dioxide and water vapor, are contained in the deoxygenated blood, and it picks up oxygen and other nutrients to enter the systemic circulation. So the lungs excrete these products in the deoxygenated blood, and the deoxygenated blood picks up oxygen and other nutrients when it passes the alveoli of the lungs, where it gets oxygenated, and then it flows back to the heart, the whole systemic circulation. So this is the structure of the lungs. This is the lungs, the left and the right lobe of the lungs, and it is red in color. Contractile vacuole. This is an excretory organ in protozoa such as amoeba. The contractile vacuole acts to regulate the quantity of water in a cell. In freshwater environments, the concentration of solids inside the cell is higher than that outside the cell. That is to say that the environment is hypotonic, while inside the cell of the organism is hypertonic. Under these conditions, water flows from the environment into the cell by osmosis. Remember what osmosis is. The contractile vacuole acts as a part of a protective mechanism that prevents the cell from absorbing too much water and possibly lysing or rupturing through excessive internal pressure. So the contractile vacuole is like a protective agent inside the cell of these protozoas. What does it do? It prevents the cell from absorbing too much water, because the cell, which is hypertonic, is placed in a hypotonic environment. Naturally, osmosis will take place and there will be movement of water from the low water concentration, which is the environment, into the cell through the semi-permeable membrane of the cell. So as water continues entering the cell will absorb so much water that it will eventually burst open, and this will cause cell death. So this contractile vacuole is a means by which the cell prevents absorption of too much water, and it is a very important cell component in amoeba. The contractile vacuole is a specialized type of vacuole. Vacuoles are found in most cells, but not all vacuoles are contractile vacuoles. Not all vacuoles are contractile vacuoles. Contractile vacuoles are specialized type of vacuoles because they have this special function of protecting the cells from absorbing too much water as a result of being placed in a hypotonic environment. The contractile vacuole, as its name suggests, expels water out of the cell by contracting. So this is the mechanism by which it prevents too much water absorption. It expels water out of the cell by contracting. The growth, that's the water gathering, and the contraction, that's water expulsion of the contractile vacuole, are periodical. So there is a period whereby the water is accumulated and then the contractile vacuole contracts, water is expelled. It is periodical. One cycle takes several seconds depending on the species and the osmolarity of the environment. The stage in which water flows into the contractile vacuole is called the diastole. That's the period of water gathering, is the diastole. Then the contraction of the contractile vacuole and the expulsion of water out of the cell is called systole. This is actually the image of paramecium, and this shows the contractile vacuole used by this organism to reduce excessive water absorption. Flame cell. A flame cell is a specialized excretory organ found in the simplest freshwater invertebrates. This includes flatworms, except the tubularians, that's the tubularian order Aquila. Other cells or other organisms that make use of flame cell include rotifers and nematines. These are the simplest animals. They have a dedicated these are the simplest animals to have a dedicated excretory system. Flame cells function like a kidney, removing waste materials. So just like the kidney of the body, flame cells remove waste materials from these flatworms. And these flatworms are the simplest animals that have a specialized organ for excretion. That's what they mean by a dedicated excretory system. This is what a flame cell looks like. Have the nucleus, the cilia, the tubule, and the tube cell. These are all parts of the flame cell. Recap. Excretion is the process by which waste products of metabolism are removed from the body of a living organism. Some enzymes present in the liver convert toxic products into non-toxic compounds, and this process is known as detoxification. Also note that feces is not an excretory product. Rather, it is an undigested part of food taken by organism. It is expelled from the alimentary canal through the anus. And with this, we come to the end of this section. We continue with excretion in plants in the next section.